And so through coaching this powerlifting team, I've been most moved to watch not the records that they're breaking, not the potential of international competition, of national records, but of the people that they're becoming through this experience. And I'll share some stories of that. Who are they becoming? So like I said, we had this girl who was so scared of sports, who was so uncoordinated. She looked like she was like an alien in a human body trying to pretend to be a humanoid. Now she's probably going to break 4 state records in a couple of weeks. But more importantly, she and I were talking after 9 or 10 months of training, just very casually. We were sitting in the gym together and she looked at me and she said, "You know, Keshava, I think one of the things I appreciate most about this is powerlifting has really taught me what discipline is." She said, "Most people don't understand, but if you just don't give up and you give a scientific, patient application of effort over a very long period of time, it's amazing how much you can accomplish." And then just like went over and did her next exercise. Oh, hang on a minute, that sounded kind of wise. If you just persevere in a scientific application over a long period of time with your sincere effort, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Isn't that also the spiritual path? You know, we may introspect with the mirror of our own inner mind and look and see all the faults and failings and shortcomings that abhor us. But that's okay. A patient application of effort over a long period of time, you'll look a lot different. Just keep going. Don't give up. And then there was another moment. We had a new lifter come in, and the new lifter was working and was training and was trying to do like a max effort attempt at something. And the older athletes were like standing back and watching and cheering him on. And the new athlete went for a few attempts and then gave up and said, "I can't do anymore." And all of the older athletes said, "Yes, you can, you can." And what was really interesting was it wasn't just their affirmation. There's something that begins happening over time that you can gauge how much the human body is capable of by how it's moving under load. And so just by watching someone perform, you can kind of estimate if they have a little bit more left in the tank. And these older athletes were looking at this newer athlete saying, no, you don't realize it, but you have more effort left in you. You have more willpower. But the young athlete didn't know how to utilize it. And the young athlete said, "No, I'm telling you, I don't know how to continue. I'm so exhausted, I have nothing left." And one of the older athletes put her arm around him and said, it's okay. I was like you too. It takes about 9 months or a year to really understand how to put out willpower." Think about that. It takes about 9 months or a year to really begin to understand how to put out willpower. Now, of course, what's amazing is every single day in the gym, that girl who said that was putting out as much willpower as she thought she possibly could. But yet, after 10 months, she herself says, "Oh yeah, I look back now and I realize I had no idea what it meant to use my will. I didn't know what it meant to channel my will into my body. Now I do." And it's that is what matters. The state record's not so much. Because anybody who gets into athletics will tell you whether or not you're going to win and break records kind of has to do with like how much God's grace has kissed you at birth. You know, some people just have the genetics. They have the biomechanics. The young man who took 14th, he's at 16 years old, 148 pounds. He picked up 473 pounds. Yeah. He's almost stronger than I am. I'm a 6 foot tall, 210 pound man. He's a monster. But he was gifted with that by God. But he has to, of course, apply his own will and all these other things. But so, does it really matter? And it's interesting, when I talked to him, I said, like, "Are you really proud of the records you've set?" "Not really." I asked him why, and he says, "Well, it doesn't really matter. I don't feel like it was really that great of an accomplishment." And of course, it's interesting because on one hand, he's right. It's not really that great of an accomplishment. God gave it to you. You cultivated it, yes, but you didn't land on the moon. But at the same time, when I do ask him, "What are you most proud of?" which is what I asked him at the end of the competition, he said his friends. He said, "These people. Look at the group of friends that I've cultivated." And then we have a very sweet tradition in our school that on everybody's birthday, we all get around and we sing Kumbaya, basically. And what I mean by that is that we sit in a circle and we take turns wishing that person a happy birthday in the most sincere terms possible. We tell them what we love about them, we tell them the greatness that we see in them, and we give them a sincere birthday wish for their soul, basically. And we express our gratitude for who they are. And when the young man who is the team captain had his birthday just a few weeks ago, one of the other athletes, the young woman who I keep referencing, when she was talking, she thanked him for setting the tone, for drawing everyone into this team. And at the end, she was almost in tears, and she said, "And you've been a very good friend." That's what this team has really been about. It's been about friendship. It's been about love. It's been about discipline. It's been about willpower. It's been about all the ways that they've changed as people. And that what's been beautiful is that as a result of all of those ways that they've changed as people, they might accidentally break some state records. They might accidentally compete internationally, set a national record, do something really incredible. But what's beautiful to me is that that's not really in their psyche. They don't go into the gym thinking, I'm going to break state records. They go into the gym thinking, I'm going to help my friend be the best person they can be. I'm going to be the best person I'm going to be. I'm going to see if I can put out more will today. I'm going to see if I can channel God's power through me. That's what I tell these athletes when they're about to move. Remember, it's God's power. It's God's power. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the real victory here that they're accomplishing?